Hello. Good evening, candidates. One more candidate has sent the questions asked today in the Bank of Maharashtra interview. This candidate has served in a private sector bank for a few years and resigned on account of, say, getting a baby. And afterwards, she is now applying for scale 2 job in Bank of Maharashtra. The questions that she was the first candidate to be interviewed today, and the interview took about 15 to 20 minutes. There were four members in that group, and the following questions were asked. Tell me about yourself, and if posted in a rural area, how will you balance work and life? If posted in a loss making branch, how will you turn it around? What is KYC? How is it useful? A role in previous bank with major achievements, qualities of a best bank manager. Then who are the competitors for banks in rural areas? Then there were some questions on GST. Then there was a question on how will NPA impact banks' profits? Then about debt service coverage ratio. There was a question on that. How will you process a loan to a small MSME whose owner is illiterate? So these are the questions asked to this candidate, and the interview took less than 15 minutes. The important point is almost all the interviewees have different type of questions. The questions will depend upon your CV and depend upon what is your background. And they do ask questions about the previous bank assignment and the achievements, if any, made. See, look here in this question, role in previous bank and major achievements made. So you will have to come and tell them these are the improvements made by you in that section, and that has improved the results of the bank branch to this extent. Likewise, you must be able to give them in terms of numbers. They cannot simply appreciate your telling, I did a good job, I carried out effectively. This type of vague versions will not be accepted. Similarly, what is KYC? Know your customer. Then how is it useful is the question. So immediately what you can tell is you tell what is KYC, what are the things bank is doing in order to fulfill the KYC. What are the documents we are taking from the customers and how they will be of use in order to verify the bona fide of the person, identity of the person, and in order to prevent also money laundering. Likewise, you must be able to explain it properly. And some of the questions, whatever answer you give is okay, but you must have confidence in what you are telling. Tell me about yourself. You normally, I would suggest you are starting from your graduation, then post graduation. If you have scored good marks, you can mention that. Then, if you have served in an organization, what is that organization where you served, and tell about the present organization. In case if this is the first employment, you tell about the present employment and nature of work you are doing and how you are making that work successful. Then, if posted in a rural area, how will you balance work and life? This question has been asked because she is a lady and she has got a baby to take care of. How will she manage taking the work in the bank branch at the rural area and also to take care of the child? This is probably because she might have told during discussions that she resigned for after getting the baby. So in case this question can be asked normally in IBPS also, most of the people they were asking, most women candidates, they were asking these questions like say, how will you manage serving in yeah, say uh, serving in a rural branch? How will you manage to get the work done? So this type of questions they do ask. So you must be able to manage that question effectively. Then, if posted in a loss-making branch, how will you turn it around? Then you can tell them first find out what are the reasons on account of cost loss is being held, mostly NPA. Identify those NPAs and take measures for recovery of the amount so that the profit will be improved. Another step is increase the CASA deposits so that the cost of deposits of the branch will come down, and also CASA deposit percentage. And the next point is also say like increase the number of new advances so that the advances earning profit will be more so that the loss can be shown less or it can be reduced. But the most effective measure is taking legal action, SURFACE Act action, and proceed legally for recovery of the dues. And if the party deserves some giving some concessions with the consent of the authorities, we can always do that. Then qualities of a best bank manager. Excellent question. A bank manager's main role is that of a leader. So he must possess all the good qualities that are required in a leader. First of all, he must have belief with the people with whom he is working, and he must be able to delegate the work to the people. And when he delegates the work to people, he must have a watch over how the work is being delegated and done properly. He should not just keep quiet after delegating the work to the employees. Understand who is capable of doing particular type of work and entrust the work to that particular individual. In Tamil we have a saying, இதனை இதனால் இவன் முடிக்கும் இயன்றாய்ந்து அதனை அவன் கண் விடல். Identifying that this person is capable of doing this and then entrust that particular work to him so that the work is done properly. So apart from that, the leader or the bank manager must have, say, always be willing to achieve higher and higher targets. He should not be affected by failures. He must be able to communicate effectively to other members and make the team members to work as a team with him. He must take the people along with him. He cannot support one set of people and not oppose the other set of people. So accordingly, it's a very ticklish issue. You must be able to manage the work nicely by encouraging people, by motivating people, by motivating oneself. That is also required. Sometimes the bank manager may require motivation himself. So accordingly, you must motivate yourself also effectively so that you can produce excellent results. Obviously, the result of the manager is dependent upon what his group is doing. So accordingly, see that his people are made to work properly. The leader must do it. Similarly, competitors in rural areas are normally the money lenders, and money lenders, and sometimes this non-banking finance corporations also may pose as a competitor. And supposing you can encourage the local people by giving advances at concessional rate of interest, by giving kisan credit card, etc., that will take away the management of say competition from the other people in the rural areas. Regarding GST, I don't know what is the question they asked. For example, if they ask simply GST, you tell them when was it introduced, how it has been really helpful to improve the revenue of the bank, of the government. For example, today I heard some reports in television that the GST received in the month of April was less, whereas the month of May it has been improved, and June it has surpassed the amount of collection made during the last year also. So in way it is a one way of good for improving the revenue of the government, because of course now in the present corona climate, is forced to spend a lot of money to people. So under that the GST to be collected is very important. How will NPA impact bank profit? NPA means the account is not going to take any interest income for you to get it credited to your account. So that NPA will be certainly affecting, because the profit of the bank branch will come down. Initially, it is classified as, say, unsatisfactory account. Then it becomes a, say, doubtful assets. Subsequently, it becomes a loss assets also. And the manager must take effective steps to see that they do not slip down. Debt service coverage ratio, I'm unable to tell you right now, but kindly go through that and how debt service coverage ratio will be helpful in, say, assessment of the working capital or the requirements of the party. Similarly, the last question also, MSME small owner who is illiterate. If he is illiterate, try to educate him properly and then try to go through the records of him so that the you can produce better or results. So these are the points I would like to tell you regarding this interview. Thank you. Best wishes.